Welcome to today's webinar. Our topic today is telemetry, StableNet, new protocols in a familiar format. This is a combination of PowerPoint slides with a short live demo in between. Let's start with a rhetorical question. Can you spot the difference between the red and yellow graphs? As background information, the graphs each represent an interface of a different device. And to keep the graphs comparable, we selected interfaces with similar amounts of traffic going over them. Well, the most obvious difference is surely the fact that the measurement data is slightly different, but that's not the key point here. The key point is that we see two fundamentally different measurements. One device is queried via SNMP, while the other one is configured to send data via a protocol called GNMI, which is quite commonly used in the telemetry world. As you can already see, with StableNet, you can easily compare data of different measurements filled by very different protocols because the data in the end looks the same. Now, what are the differences between the two approaches, SNMP and telemetry? Let's have a look at the respective advantages. First, SNMP. SNMP is a tried and true protocol which is now available for more than 30 years. It is supported on a gigantic range of devices. Basically, it's supported almost everywhere, and it provides a standardized data format. And last but not least, it is, in most cases, easy to configure a basic SNMP setup on a device. On the other hand, we have telemetry. What does telemetry provide for us that we can't achieve with SNMP? Most important, telemetry measurements are better scalable because they cause less load on network devices to provide the requested data when compared to SNMP. Simultaneously, the possible data granularity is much higher. With telemetry, you can receive data in near real time if you wish to do so. Additionally, depending on the protocol, the configuration of the measurements or respectively subscriptions is highly customizable. Now let's jump into a live view on the StableNet system. I have prepared the exact same analyzer window as in the screenshot in the presentation. So we have the same devices, the same interfaces, same measurements. And you can see that the data is coming in regularly. The last data is just from a minute ago. Let's compare now the original data format. For SNMP, I have prepared an SNMP walk, which requests the in-octets counter of the interface we have just seen in the analyzer window. It's pretty easy. As you can see, you directly receive the requested counter, and the StableNet agent that normally requests the data makes its calculations as defined in the SNMP template, which is basically that StableNet is expecting another measurement unit, and StableNet is expecting a relative value, so the difference between that counter and the previous one. And that's it. Now we head over to telemetry. What's happening there in the background looks much more confusing, as you can see in this window. And yeah, here we see the data we receive from the external tools we use, and that data is already pre-processed and filtered to one single device. If you look at the whole data, it's much more confusing. Now we have received an update at the perfect time. As you can see, it's just lots and lots of data, and at that point you aren't really able to pick the exact information that you need from the original data you receive. After some more processing on our side, the data looks like this. Now you can already see a structure. You see the interfaces for the interface measurements with the respective measurement values. If we are in our last step, going down to the protocol level of this GNMI protocol, it looks like this, just needs a short time. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that no one here wants to work directly with this information on a regular basis, especially since some parts here, the important parts which contain the data, are not even human readable. Be aware that what you have just seen is only an example. The data we receive from other devices looks different, but still equally complicated, as always, of course, depending on the protocol. We are now coming to a conclusion. And our conclusion is that telemetry, as opposed to SNMP, is by definition only a concept or an umbrella term. I have added a quote here, which pretty accurately defines telemetry as the in situ collection of data at remote points and their automatic transmission to receiving equipment for monitoring. That is telemetry, not more and not less. In fact, from our experience, most misconceptions and misunderstandings arise from that definition. We can now conclude that telemetry is not a protocol and isn't bound to any specific protocol. And because of that, is also not bound to any specific data format. Consequently, implementing support for telemetry is quite challenging because we have to deal with a huge variety in protocols and data formats. And protocols are in some cases only partially supported by vendors and tools, to the point where key functionality, which is specified as mandatory in the RFCs, is missing. And this situation leads to the whole environment being in a state of constant change and evolution. For us at InfoSim, the overall goal is to create a holistic solution by normalizing the incoming data, regardless of protocol and format. To achieve our goal, we focus on accommodating multiple protocols with a flexible interlayer. And as the last step, from the user perspective, there must be no difference in the presented data. On my last slide, we return back once more to the analyzer screenshot from the beginning. Why is it titled The Truth, you may ask? I have to admit that I haven't been completely honest in the beginning with the first screenshot. Everything I said regarding the different data sources and protocols still holds true. But these graphs don't show two interfaces on different devices. They show the same interface of the same device. This analyzer view simply shows that telemetry, when configured correctly, has a higher granularity compared to SNMP. Thank you for your attention and your time, and enjoy working with StableNet.